The clock's hands inch forward, mocking you with every tick. It's 3 a.m., and sleep feels like a distant memory. You're wide awake, staring at the shadows on the wall, an echo of your worries that refuse to fade. Your heart races, not from the thrill of something forgotten, but from the heavy weight of a life unprepared. Visions of a future devoid of stability plague you. You scan the room, and the utter silence is loud, echoing the stark reality of what looms in the darkness ahead. An empty nest, but also an empty retirement account. You've made sacrifices, haven't you? You've poured your life into providing for your children, sometimes at the expense of your own financial future. Each dollar spent was a whisper of love, an assurance that they would have the life you never had. But now, as the sun begins to creep lazily over the horizon, there's a chilling thought that grips your chest. Will you become a burden? The reality hits like a punch in the gut. The anxiety of relying on your children. You can almost hear the sound of your card being declined at the grocery store, the silent judgment from the cashier, and the heat rising in your cheeks as your child awkwardly fumbles for their wallet. It's humiliation wrapped in a cloak of love, a twisted gratitude that turns your heart to stone. The truth is, they're barely making ends meet themselves. How could you ask them for help? Would they look at you with pity? You can't shake the feeling that every moment of dependency chips away at your dignity. And that's where most people get it wrong. They believe the narrative of family support, of unconditional love, will shield them from the harshness of financial insecurity. Perhaps that's what you've clung to, the hope that your children will sweep in like knights in shining armor, rescuing you from the abyss of your financial failings. But that narrative is one made of sand, and each wave of urgency washes it away. There's a stark difference between love and responsibility, and that gap can be a chasm come retirement. You sit upright in bed now, the weight of your regrets smothering you like a thick blanket. What did the last decade look like? Overspending adventures, wasty vacations for your family, newer cars that only amplified the strain on your budget? As the memories flood back, each one carries its own brand of shame. You remember the dinners out when you could have cooked at home, those wants you indulged at the cost of savings. Every purchase that offered fleeting joy now feels like a blade cutting deeper into your sense of freedom. You might think to yourself, I did what I thought was best. But deep down, as you toss and turn, you wonder if your best was good enough. You hear your neighbor's new car rumble past, and envy tightens your throat. How could they seem so worry-free? The harsh truth is that for too long, you've avoided confronting the finance fiction you've been living in, an illusion of prosperity when, in reality, your retirement account was on life support, barely clinging to existence. But you can't ignore it any longer. The silence of that early morning hour invites terrifying thoughts. How will you afford your medications? What happens when your health begins to fail? Will your children have to choose between their dreams and your well-being? Each unanswered question is a drop of cold water on your spirit, the reality seeping in, one drop at a time. And that sense of fear? It's not just your imagination running wild. It's your subconscious screaming at you to wake up and take action. It's the shame of a check that won't cash, and the sober reality lurking behind that dreadful balance statement from your bank. How many more sleepless nights must you endure before facing the truth? The clocks are counting down, the sands are slipping through the hourglass, and every minute matters. If you identified with this pain, the dread, the shame of possibly being a burden to your family, then you're not alone. Millions dream of freedom, yet remain trapped in a cycle of worry, fearing they'll let their loved ones down. But it doesn't have to be this way. You can change your narrative, reclaim your dignity. Subscribe to recover your lost time and journey toward securing your future. The choice is yours. In the sobering grip of that early hour, the question stands before you. Are you ready to face this painful reality and seek the answers? Are you prepared finally to stop being a burden and embrace the power of choice? Remember, it's never too late to take that first step. As the sun begins to break over the horizon, spilling light into your once dark thoughts, let's take a moment to turn our gaze towards a beacon of wisdom, Warren Buffett. You might scoff at the mention of a billionaire's name, thinking, what does he know about me? What does he truly understand about my struggle? But let's pause right there. Behind the numbers and stock tickers lies a man who embodies simplicity and patience, qualities we often overlook in our frantic lives. You see, Warren Buffett isn't simply a master investor. He's a grandfather saver, a figure of wisdom who understands value not just in terms of money, but in the richness of a life spent well. But what attracts people to his teachings? It's his philosophy of frugality, his steadfast aversion to debt, and his commitment to living within one's means. These principles may seem archaic in our culture of consumer excess, but they are, in fact, the bedrock upon which financial peace is built. But what he said about debt changed everything. Buffett famously quips, "The first rule of investment is don't lose money. The second rule is don't forget rule number 1. If only we could all absorb that lesson before it was too late." You're likely entangled in a web of credit card bills, student loans, and purchases made on a whim, all perhaps justified by the empty promises of happiness. How many times have you promised yourself this would be the last month you carry a balance? Yet here you are, lying awake at night, wondering how to escape the cycle. Contrast Buffett's measured approach with your current reality. When life becomes chaotic, it's easy to prioritize immediate gratification over long-term stability. Perhaps you thought, it's just a small purchase. But those small purchases, compounded over time, create a financial landscape filled with hills too steep to climb. But my children needed that vacation. I was simply providing for them. You might argue. Yet even in the most loving intentions, that financial strain years down the road looms larger than any attraction of temporary contentment. And that's where most people get it wrong. They believe that the sacrifices made today will somehow camouflage tomorrow's looming financial chaos. But take a piece of Buffett's wisdom. Invest in your future self. Every dollar spent frivolously is a brick placed in the wall of your potential retirement. It's your choice whether these bricks fortify a strong foundation or trap you in an inescapable prison. You might think, but I'm preparing my children for life. Yet as you look at your own retirement account and feel that familiar knot of anxiety tightening in your stomach, remember your own workings. Were those choices about loving your children truly selfless if they propelled you closer to a state of dependency? Your current choices echo in the years to come. It's a cycle that Buffett advocates against, as he often emphasizes the beauty of a debt-free life, both for personal peace and familial harmony. His prudent approach is a beacon highlighting that your responsibilities need not become a burden on your children. Think about it. Is it fair to expect your kids to shoulder what you failed to prepare for? Yet here they are, shouldering their own burdens, while you lounge in a place of need, lost and unprepared, desperately clinging to the notion that they'll resolve what you didn't. Imagine how they might feel if asked to support you instead of being able to chase their own dreams. Would they see you as a pillar of strength or a cautionary tale? This thought alone should propel you into action. Breathe life into your retirement account, Buffett would urge. But what does that mean for you? It's not about playing high-stakes poker with your savings. It's about nurturing it, allowing it to grow like a seed you've planted in a garden. Buffett's own life exemplifies the power of patience. He preaches delay gratification, and enjoy your winnings later. Take a moment to think. When was the last time you exercised that muscle of restraint? Too many parents assume this delay only pertains to their children's desires. Yet it turns out, the real lesson lies in your own choices. The secret that follows could save your retirement. It lies in embracing discomfort today for a brighter tomorrow. Each time you resist the urge to overspend, visualize how much closer you are to freedom. Freedom from anxiety, freedom from shame, freedom from the burden of your children. As you sit with these thoughts, prepare yourself for a shift in mindset. Imagine what it would feel like to stand strong in the face of might-have-beens, to look at your bank account and feel a swell of pride instead of despair. Visualize your children unencumbered by your financial chaos, thriving and pursuing their dreams instead of worrying about how to care for you. The question remains, are you prepared to embrace this journey? To bring Buffett's principles into your life, applying them not just as abstract ideas, but as actionable ways to fortify your future. The clock is ticking. The time is now. When next you find yourself analyzing your choices, ask yourself, am I truly acting in love, or am I just convincing myself that I'm doing what's right for my children? It's never too late to rewrite the narrative of your financial story. Journey with wisdom, embrace patience, and take control of your destiny. You have the chance to break this cycle now. What will you choose? Life has a way of presenting us with inconvenient truths, doesn't it? The numbers don't lie, and every financial decision you make compounds. building an unyielding mountain of reality that many prefer to ignore. And if you found yourself spiraling into debt, it's time to confront a brutal reality that might leave you reeling. What if I told you that all this time, you've been trapped in a cycle of denial? Let's start with the math of debt. It's a simple formula, yet so easily obscured by the chaos of everyday life. At its core, debt accumulates like an avalanche. A small snowball of purchasing today can transform into a life-altering monolith tomorrow. Interest rates trap you like quicksand. The more you struggle, the deeper you sink, and before long you're consumed by a cacophony of bills, interest payments, and overdue notices. The truth? Every dollar you borrow today will cost you more tomorrow. As you casually swipe your card, thinking you're only spending a few dollars, understand that those purchases lead to a financial strain that multiplies in a blink. And that's where most people get it wrong. They underestimate the true cost of deferment. It's just one more dinner out, you tell yourself. It's a necessary expense. The kids need new clothes. But then the unexpected happens. Those seemingly trivial costs morph into significant weight on your financial journey. You buy now and forget about the crippling debt that follows. What started as an innocent act of providing for your family leads to sleepless nights filled with dread and regret. Now, let's address the social status trap. We live in a world fueled by appearances. Every time you feel the pressure to keep up with the Smiths next door, new car, bigger house, extravagant vacations, you give up pieces of financial freedom for a fleeting glimpse of acceptance. You ask yourself, how can I allow my family to fall behind? I want them to have what their friends have. That facade of social status comes with a steep price tag, and too many are willing to pay it in the form of crippling debt. The cycle is a dark abyss, and rising to the surface feels impossible when every day brings new pressures to conform. But here's the cold, hard truth. Continuing down this path only leads to one destination: dependency. Dependency on your children, on loans, on the suffocating weight of inadequacy. Generously providing for your family one moment can morph into a self-imposed prison that leaves you suffocated by expectations. The world has convinced you that being a good parent equates to buying your way into your kids' hearts. You fear they will see you as insufficient if you don't join in their latest trends and celebrations. That fear? It's a double-edged sword, and before long it cuts deeply into your peace of mind. And that's where most people get it wrong. They think that providing materially equates to loving their family more fully. Yet, consider the impact of this misguided belief. What happens when the scales tip too far? They don't see the strain you are imposing on yourselves, all while ignoring the intricate web of financial ruin slowly encroaching upon you. The shame of being a burden approaches, and your children will feel it. You must see that your quest for approval robs you of your dignity. So how do we break free from this self-sabotaging cycle? How do we rise above lifestyle creep, the insidious pattern of allowing our spending to rise in tandem with our income? The harsh answer is that nobody is coming to save you. It's painful to hear, but the truth is, your financial well-being rests solely on your shoulders. When the bills start piling up, when the costs of living become an unbearable burden, don't expect a lifeboat from somewhere out in the depths. Recognize that you control your destiny. You can change how you handle your finances, but you must first confront the lies you've been telling yourself. The world is a harsh place, particularly for those who appear to be floundering. Feeling like a burden to your kids can ignite a sense of humiliation strong enough to push you into denial. No one wants to admit they're struggling, yet it is imperative to draw upon a sense of radical honesty. Start evaluating how you arrived at this point. Take a hard look at your financial habits. The result? Perhaps it's your monthly outlays, the subscriptions that never again get used, or the vacations that left you more broke than refreshed. Each choice is shaping your financial landscape and guiding you unerringly toward the precipice of financial dignity. And trust me when I say that this anxiety respects no borders. Whether you're watching from a bustling city or a quiet town, the struggle remains remarkably similar. The stakes are high, growing with every passing moment. Millions feel this weight, drowning in expectations, overshadowed by financial worries. It drives a sense of urgency through the hearts of many around the globe. So, I invite you to share your location in the comments below. Let's rally together as a community, showing that we're in this together, united by our collective struggle. Write in the comments which city or country you are watching from, and let's make the world aware that we're ready to climb out of this cycle together. In this struggle, your first step lies beside radical truth and acceptance. Take a careful inventory of your financial situation. You've created your circumstances. Now you must be the architect of your change. Embrace the tough love that I'm offering. Change starts with you. Understand the choices that got you here and establish a plan to reclaim your life. Prepare yourself for the discomfort that lies ahead. It's in that discomfort that you'll find growth. Transform your anxiety into action and let it fuel your journey toward financial peace. Realize this: no one can pull you from this abyss but you. The power of change is in your hands, and the moment of reckoning is now. It's time to determine if you're going to face this challenge head-on or continue to drift in denial. Will you allow your children to grow up in a world where they become responsible for your financial missteps? Or will you choose to stand, take ownership, and carve out the financial freedom that you and they deserve? The choice is yours. But remember, every passing moment counts. Time waits for no one, and facing these truths is the only way to emerge from the shadows of shame. You are capable, you are deserving, and above all, you are the author of your financial destiny. Will you write the ending to your story? Let's confront the cold, hard truth of your financial landscape. It's time to devise a battle plan, a set of non-negotiable pillars that will anchor you in this tumultuous sea of debt and denial. The path toward reclaiming your dignity and financial freedom requires action so decisive that you cannot afford to look back. While it might feel brutal at times, remember, the discomfort of growth is far outweighed by the pain of inaction. So, what are these sacred pillars? Let me introduce you to 3 foundational strategies that will transform not just your financial situation, but your entire outlook on life. The Dignity Fund, the No Debt Pact, and the Cash-Only Revolution. Era 1. The Dignity Fund. Build your financial future. The Dignity Fund is your fortress against uncertainty. Imagine a future in which you can stand upright, free from the fear of being a burden. Start by determining how much you need to save for retirement to maintain your dignity and autonomy. Do the math. What will you need to live comfortably in your later years? It's time to quantify your peace of mind. The first step? Automate your savings. Open a dedicated retirement savings account, one that's separate from your everyday finances. Set it up to withdraw funds automatically, preferably the moment you receive your paycheck. This means you're paying yourself before anyone else gets a chance to dip into those funds. Even if it's a small amount, like $100 or $200 a month, let this habit build momentum. Here's the truth. Consistency transcends the perceived insignificance of those small contributions. Then, once established, renegotiate your budget. Identify unnecessary expenses and drain them away like water from a sinking ship. Review your subscriptions for streaming services or your gym membership that you never use. Are they providing value or just draining your dignity fund? Remember, every dollar squandered now means more sleepless nights later, where the weight of financial uncertainty crushes the spirit. 2. The No Debt Pact. Break free from chains. Next is the No Debt Pact. This isn't merely a suggestion. It's a solemn agreement with yourself. A pact that says no more. Break free from the chains of credit. They diminish your freedom and trap you in an endless cycle of repayment. The pursuit of maintaining social appearances costs more than you could possibly realize. Begin by tackling your high-interest debts as an immediate priority. The pain might be sharp, but it's necessary. Consolidate those credit card debts into a single loan with a lower interest rate, or consider reaching out to a credit counseling service to find strategies that work for you. This is not a luxury. This is survival. Next, it's time for drastic measures. Cut the cards. Physically shred your credit cards, or at the very least, put them in a freezer if you can't bear the thought of parting with them entirely. You need a fresh reset. If you don't have the cash, don't buy it. It's essential that you shed the luxury of convenience that credit cards provide. Living within your means is a discipline worth the journey of discomfort it entails. And while you're at it, establish a personal spending limit for each category of your expenses. For example, designate a strict monthly budget for groceries, entertainment, and miscellaneous expenses. If you hit your limit, that's it. You have to wait until next month. Revel in the satisfaction of sticking to that plan, transforming your financial discipline into your new lifestyle choice. 3. The cash-only revolution. Embrace the tangibility of money. Finally, we have the cash-only revolution, a powerful tool for those seeking to regain control. This strategy strips away the abstraction of credit and immerses you in the stark reality of budgeting and spending. If you can see the money leaving your hands, you're less likely to waste it. The truth is this: spending money hurts. It's a physical sensation, so use it to your advantage. Start by identifying a cash budget for all your weekly expenses. Withdraw that amount from the bank in cash and get ready to watch your spending habits transform. You might find this exercise nowhere near as easy as you presumed, but that discomfort? It's a sign that you're beginning to recognize your patterns. The awareness is a crucial step toward breaking the cycle. Now, hold yourself accountable. Each time you spend that cash, jot it down. Keep track of where your money goes and review your week at its conclusion. You might find that the small treats you indulge in add up faster than you ever imagined. The secret that follows is this: awareness transforms behavior. A few months of practice will give you newfound strength. You'll discover how to prioritize your needs over your wants. As you embrace this cash-only revolution and confront your realities head-on, remember to keep an eye on your progress. Nothing is more satisfying than knowing that step by step you are reclaiming your financial dignity. It's painful, but empowering. This is your moment of reckoning. You stand at the crossroads, and it's time to choose. Will you decide to follow the paths laid out by Buffett? Or will you cling to your comfort zone until it engulfs you in shame and dependency? As you embark on this journey, allow these foundational pillars to guide your decisions. The Dignity Fund is about creating a buffer against life's uncertainties. The No Debt Pact liberates you from the crippling chains of consumerism, and the cash-only revolution offers clarity in financial decision-making. Each step will involve sacrifice and discomfort, but each painful choice you make brings you one step closer to financial independence. And that's where most people get it wrong. They underestimate the power of accountability, discipline, and a fierce commitment to change. The time is now. Make the choices that your future self will thank you for. Where's your plan? What will you do today to start building your Dignity Fund, sever your ties with debt, and embrace a cash-only lifestyle? Dare to commit. This is your moment to reclaim your dignity and reshape your life. What will your choice be? As you step into the next chapter of this journey toward financial dignity, it's crucial to armor yourself against the inevitable temptations and pressures that lie ahead. Regaining control over your finances can be empowering, but it can also be a rocky road filled with emotional challenges, especially when nearby friends and neighbors seem to flaunt their unburdened prosperity while you're actively pursuing freedom from debt. And that's where most people get it wrong. They overlook the impact of social pressure and the envy that can seep into your mind. The journey of financial redemption might lead you to radically alter your spending habits, but once you begin to embrace frugality, you might also find yourself at odds with the familiar faces around you. When you're cutting back on expenses and reallocating your funds to build that Dignity Fund, you may start to feel the sting of jealousy when you see your neighbors driving new cars or throwing extravagant parties. It's almost palpable. The gaze of those around you weighing you down, making it feel like you're disrespecting the very culture of affluence you've been swimming in. In those moments, you might hear their whispers. Why can't they just enjoy life? Look at how defined they've become. But let me tell you, those judgments matter not. The peace of mind you're cultivating is priceless. Remember, beneath that facade of affluence lies a minefield of debt and financial stress that many carry silently. What you're choosing to do may not be glamorous today, but investing in your future self is a necessary sacrifice if you want to escape the clutches of financial dependence. To counteract the feelings of enmity that may arise, remind yourself of your purpose. You're not just setting aside money. You're shaping your destiny. You're building a life free from the burden of relying on your children while simultaneously teaching them the values of responsibility and independence. Yes, the road may feel lonely at times, but every step you take is a step toward reclaiming your dignity. So, how can you arm yourself? First, construct your inner fortress of purpose, a steadfast mantra to recenter your thoughts. I am doing this not just for myself, but for my family's future. Each time you find yourself overwhelmed by a wave of envy, Perhaps it's an extravagant meal you declined or an invitation to an expensive vacation. Repeat this mantra until it resonates deep within you. But then, the unexpected happens. The moment of truth when you're invited to a lavish gathering with friends, while your conscious choice of simplicity beckons you to stay home. The pressure mounts, doesn't it? But here's the life-changing secret. Embrace the power of saying no. Saying no is an act of strength, a declaration that you are prioritizing your financial recovery over fleeting social approval. It's a moment of shifting power from your desire for acceptance to the self-discipline that creates true freedom. Take those friends aside. Numerous gatherings are sure to come. Suggest a potluck instead, where everyone contributes an affordable dish. Not only will you save money, but you'll also show your friends what it means to create shared experiences without the burden of finances dangling overhead. As you begin to engage in this lifestyle shift, you'll find that many will admire your resolve and perhaps even join you in your pursuit of financial integrity. And that's where most people get it wrong. They forget that true happiness doesn't come from keeping up with appearances. True happiness is found in stability, in the warmth of financial security, and in the simple joy of sharing experiences without the weight of impending doom. But as we move deeper into the shadows of temptation and pressure, let's pivot once more toward that brighter future awaiting you. Picture this. It's the year 2026, and instead of waking up in a cold sweat every morning, you're greeted by the warm sun streaming through your window, the soft whispers of contentment filling your home. How does that vision feel? In 2026, you'll wake up knowing there's money saved in your dignity fund, built through sacrifices made today. A lack of fear shadows your mornings, the silent judgment now transformed into a sense of accomplishment. Imagine the tranquility of an empty mailbox that isn't filled with bill collectors, instead replaced with simple reminders of your journey. A birthday card from a dear friend, a child's drawing, all representing the priceless moments that have flourished while you've chosen to prioritize your financial well-being. Picture your children blossoming into successful adults, thriving on their own merits, unhindered by the burden of worrying about your financial stability. They chase their dreams, not having to pause to think, will mom or dad need my support this month? Instead, they flourish in a world where they are free to invest in their potential, whether that's pursuing a new job or starting a little business of their own. Feeling that peace, knowing you have successfully broken the cycle of dependency and overreaching expenditures that held you back before, transforms each day into a gift. What truly evens are the new traditions you create within your family as a result of this financial discipline. Picture camping in the backyard instead of extravagant getaways, sharing homemade meals instead of dining at expensive restaurants, watching movies at home, or engaging in community events that enrich your family's bond, building memories that won't come with a price tag, but rather, a sense of togetherness and appreciation. And therein lies the secret. Financial freedom becomes the foundation of your family's connection and legacy. By choosing to invest in your future instead of seeking superficial self-gratifications today, you've positioned yourself to become a role model, not only to your children but to those around you as well. Now, return with me to the present. Resist the urge to slip back into the world of superficiality. Put on your armor against relapse and resist the societal pressures that will tug at you from every corner. Your journey is deeply personal, but it is also universal. Others are walking down this same path, facing the same fights, and it's critical to know that you're not alone. Surround yourself with like-minded individuals who share your values. Consider joining local meetup groups who focus on frugal living or online communities, where others echo your determination to break free from the chains of debt. As we come full circle on this vital part of your journey, ask yourself, what are you willing to do to shape that tranquil vision of 2026? How can you turn it into your reality? You possess the power to forge your future, and it's only a step away. Just remember, every single effort you make now carries weight. It allows you to build not just for today, but for a legacy of freedom tomorrow. Stand firm against the pressures around you. Embrace the strength drawn from your commitment to your financial future. The hard truth is that sacrifices might be painful now, but that pain pales in comparison to the immeasurable peace awaiting you in years to come. Cherish that vision, and let it be your guiding light through the darkness. Your future self will thank you for it. You've journeyed with me through the depths of financial pain, fear, and discomfort, and now we stand at the precipice of truth and transformation. Take a deep breath. You've faced the harsh reality that far too many parents live in denial about. Denial that shields you from the cold truth of financial dependency. This isn't your future, it's your present, and it's crucial that you grasp the weight of what lies ahead. As we approach the close of this chapter, let's reflect on what we've uncovered together. The uncomfortable reality is that so many adults our age have brushed aside the importance of planning for retirement, assuming that someone else, whether that's their children, friends, or society at large, will come to their rescue. But that's where most people get it wrong. You've taken a step back and confronted the narratives you've told yourself. You've acknowledged that love cannot replace preparation. You've recognized that the life of dependency, of burdening your own children when you should be their guiding light, is not only unfair, but also a path woven with the fibers of shame. The real freedom lies not in the fleeting choices of today, but in the deliberate decisions you make now that gain momentum into your future. As parents, we want to be heroes in our children's lives, the ones who provide stability, support, and love unconditionally. However, when that unconditional love morphs into suffocating expectations that our children should carry us in our old age, it flips the narrative. Embrace this reflection. You owe it to yourself and your children to evolve past this cycle. The fight isn't just for yourself, it's for the legacy you leave behind, one rooted in dignity, independence, and strength. And that's where most people get it wrong. They neglect the emotional toll of dependency, presuming it's a burden that's easy to shoulder in love. But love should never be a crutch that cripples. Real love prepares children for life, teaching them resilience while minimizing the weight they carry for their parents. Remember, you're not just building your future, you're laying the groundwork for theirs. So, as we stand together at this crossroads, the question remains, are you ready to take ownership of your financial destiny? Are you prepared to turn those dreams of dignity into actionable plans that steer you away from the path of dependency? It's time to summon your courage and act. Throw away the notion that it's too late, for it never is. At any moment, you have the power to rewrite your story. Each day forward gives you the opportunity to grow your dignity fund, adhere to the no-debt pact, and embrace a cash-only revolution. Think back to that vision of radiance and serenity in 2026. Picture the tranquility of your life, not weighed down by burdens or judgments, but light and free. Visualize waking each day with the knowledge that you are secure. You can be the source of inspiration instead of anxiety. You can be the role model who teaches their children the value of responsibility. The choice is in your hands. Remember this. Life is not just a series of transactions. It's a journey interwoven with choices that define you. As you move forward, don't allow the fear of judgment or the clutches of societal expectations to silence your transformation. Picture the gratitude swelling in your heart, knowing you can gift your children the gift of agency and independence. And now, let's conclude this journey with an echo of wisdom that rings true for every moment spent seeking clarity, acting courageously, and reclaiming your dignity. Warren Buffett offers invaluable insight. The best investment you can make is in yourself. The more you learn, the more you earn. Let that resonate deep within you. Remember, this investment isn't just about financial gain. It's about quality of life, emotional robustness, and a legacy that echoes far beyond mere numbers in a bank account. Invest in your future self and your ability to shape the very narrative of your family's story. You are now armed with the truths of this reality check. As you step into the embrace of change, understand that you are not alone. You are part of a movement, a wave of adults taking back their financial lives, standing strong against the tides of fear and dependency. Let this moment be a powerful launching point as you commit not merely to survival, but to thrive. Today is a stepping stone toward that brighter reality where dignity reigns and fear dissipates. Thank you for your time, the single most valuable asset you possess. Make it count. Now, embrace your power and let us write the next chapter of your life with intent, purpose, and unstoppable determination. Fade to black.